Hello, it's Cheryl Ann Gross Close in Quebec City. Um, I'm not going to be able to do a dance today um, for you, although I've been wanting to. I do while I'm sitting down. But, I stopped a medication a few weeks ago and immediately I had, all of the side effects went away. And I wondered why I didn't do it sooner, you know, 30 years. But um, apparently the the drug's still in me for a good 4 to 6 weeks. But right now it's been about 3 or 4, I don't know, maybe 3. I'm losing my pulse, like it's really rapidly going down. So I'm keeping my eye on it for sure and doing everything I can to boost my thyroid. But meanwhile, my energy is zero, like zero. Wonderful news is my pain is almost completely gone. Like it's a miracle, with so much disease in me, poison in me. I can't even believe I got through all that. But, not undamaged. And now here I am. I was thinking today about um, my dad, Ivan Gilbert Grosclose, and how easy it is we can get lost here from the people that really do matter the most. And oftentimes it's not until they cross over that we remember how much we love them. So we should be doing more of that, touching people now, so that they know how you feel, because that's the problem. My father didn't know how I felt, and I didn't know how he felt. I decided just to do my video the way I started. Um, just turned my music because I was lost. I mean, I have so much information. Um, People ask, why don't you write it out in a book? And the thing is, you can't. I have a universe in my heart since the beings of light came. And it's too much data to get out in one sitting. And I was just, saying that the judge, the judge gets a bit of the story and relates it to something they know, and then wants to come into my lane and correct me or give me some parental advice. This is how people are behaving all over the place. And I don't know if you know that you're reducing people. Every time you come across as somebody who knows more than the other person, you're reducing them. You have to know it. Like, if you're on social media, and you're watching me, you know, watch the comments and how people, especially in groups where it's about spirituality. Oh, there's so many freaking authorities there, aren't there? But, they trigger me sometimes, the judge, because I, in fact, had a tete-a-tete with a woman that, it, she wanted to give me advice on just a few words that I'd given. And now she knows my whole story and she's going to give me advice. Like, as if I don't know what she's talking about. She knows what she's talking about. She wants to make sure I know she knows what she's talking about. And it's reducing and it triggers me. And you know what's wrong? People get mad when you're triggered. And they say, well, your reaction's the problem. That's the problem here, your reaction. Because my reaction is ugly. That's for fucking sure. It is ugly. Because what the gaslighting, the judging, the wanting to get into details where you don't belong, in stories you don't belong in. It's because maybe those people feel empty and they need to feel better and bigger. Because I've never come across like that. That's not who Cheryl Ann Grosclose or Nana Marie Thomas ever was. I teach by example. I'm not afraid to share my story. I have grown through my consciousness in the 8 years since the Beings of Light came, September of 2016. In those years, um, I have gained so much insight to everything from the earth to the stars to the moon to the sun and everything in between. And knowing that the dimensions that we want and and long for are right here on earth. And the only way to reach higher dimensions and higher vibrations of our intelligence is love. It frees us. It gives us freedom. Unconditional love. But no, too many freaking authorities around here. Nobody can get away with anything. Ask my father. Ask my son. Ask me. You know, the petty criminal and drunk, the addict, and the mental case. We were created on earth. Our left brains took over and we were created here. We still had a better time, though, than the students that went to school and conformed. We had a better time. But you know what hurt us every time? The family, the judge. They just won't let it go and think you should hang on to your sins forever. Now, I admit that I did interfere in a few people's lives in my family as according to sin, but that's because they were crimes against children. And that's another ball game where I will speak up. But no, I was made to feel ashamed. How dare I? Here we go again, twisting it, gaslighting. How dare you accuse somebody of such a horrible thing? that's the that's the problem here. Me accusing? That's what you think about? You don't think about what I'm saying. People don't think at all. They're just looking for emotions to suck on because they feel empty. And I'm tired. I realized how much I adored Cheryl Ann Grosclose now. Like, really. Like, even my hair is coming out the way I was when I was a little girl, when I remember my dad and I were close, when things were normal. Well, they were never really normal in my family, other than those moments, right? Those feelings and moments, those are remembered. But if you're clouded with feelings and moments of anger and rage and hanging on to those moments, you're losing, guys. We're so engaged in the judgment program here in Satan's world, and it really hurts people. The judge creates the hell, the dungeon, and the torture, and the executions. The judge is the be all and end all. And you should never ever want to be a judge unless you're in Satan's world. Did you know that every judge, before they can be a judge anywhere, must be a Freemason? That's a true fact. You cannot be a judge. Those higher places do not accept people. You know what else? I didn't get jobs whenever there was a test to be done before, like one of those academic tests. Now, I was in HR and I gave those tests. I was a certified Myers-Briggs administrative tester. I did the Campbell's inventory. I was a testing administrator as well as a recruitment officer as well as an employment manager. So I know about tests. But if there was if they gave me a test and it was an academic test, I never got the job. Never. Same with jobs that required the degree. If they wanted that degree, there was no flexibility. And I found out there's a reason for that. You have to have a certain type of compliant personality, an authoritative personality, sort of like a sergeant of arms, you know? You have to step over there but when people join these organizations, fraternities, when they join them as in a group, and they get caught up in a group think, and they lose their freaking minds. They do hazing, they do testing to see if they'll go this far, create chaos. They don't realize, guys, at the very top, it's Satan they worship. They do rituals. They eat babies. Okay? Do you think I'm lying? The way everybody has always called me a liar? I'm not a liar. But I'm so tired of being judged and having stones thrown on me. It's really very abusive to even think bad thoughts about me because I feel it. I'm very sensitive. And now that I know what's going on, I used to just think I was, sick or something all the time. But no, no. I'm an empath and a highly sensitive empath. And those people, these creatures, I don't know if you've met them. I think I got a few of them on my channel here because, we have sensitivities men aren't used to or like because we've been living by drag queens and influencing people as if women are really dumb, airheads, or really sexy and promiscuous, or whores even. These are all depicted on TV 24/7. You don't even have to separate yourself and go watch porn. It's right there. And women are depicted as being hags and bitches and ugly and hormones, and they attack the body. because they're not lean and fit and have abs. And I just see these women running and at the gym and they're trying so freaking hard to have that lean body for you, gentlemen. And they hate you under that. They hate you for not loving her the way she's coming out. Or not realizing it's medication causing weight gain, not food. Or not realizing that what's in the food, that especially if it's in any way processed, could be causing problems. But it's like you think there's something wrong with you, and that's bothering me. I love this song because I just got the part, you know, if you say the truth, sometimes it's the truth, but it's not the whole truth because we only have a bit of the truth. We only have one side of a story, our own, and we should stay in our own lanes because we reduce people when we think we know better or when we don't believe in them, right? We don't say, like I say so often, like all the time in my comments, somebody will ask me for advice. And I say, You've got to find it out. Your answer is inside." And I like the song Downtown because that song Downtown, where the lights are brighter, I like to think of that. I turned it around in my imagination. And I imagine my downtown is in my heart, in my meditation. That is where the magic is. Because that's the truth. Your magic is in you. If anyone in the whole world can tell you that, is Cheryl Ann Gross Clothes. Honestly, if I can learn to love myself in my golden years, then I don't know what golden years are, but I like to think that um, I'm younger than golden years. But I am going to be 65 on September 11th. And, I was trying to think, what am I going to do if, you know, I'm completely healed and I have a life now. I can do things if I'm healed. So I was thinking about that. And you know what's wrong? Is that there is no life without your family. That's the truth. And that's what we learn when we cross over and our egos break. That's what happens. Our egos break and our spirit appears. And we know our feelings and we remember our love. And imagine remembering our love and then remembering all those times that you shit all over people or that person that you love the most. Like, I have horrible shudders when I think about it because I'm back to myself. And, when you can't really feel it, uh, the ripple effect of words and how judging and making people feel small, you're creating what you hate. And we do that in our children. My mother, I became like my father because she hated my father and she judged me, and that's what I became. You know, Drinking and promiscuous and terrible, even though I was married. Well, I was very much not at peace because there is no love at home. If you grew up without love, odds are that, you're not experiencing love. How do you know what it is? It must be felt. And more than a fantasy picture of the bride and groom and wedding, because life goes on and tough times come. Hard work together. But you know what? You have to want to. And if it's so easy to walk away as it is now, instead of working on your relationship, your little feelings get hurt. And so somebody walks away and the kids are standing there going, what the hell's going on with my parents? That's what I said when my parents divorced. Bringing in a new daddy to me? How crazy is that? Risky business. But we're not thinking here. We're watching TV and groomed. We're groomed to become exactly what we're watching. If you don't mind becoming, you know, everything you see on TV, I don't know how we can trust anybody with the imaginations, which is the manifester. You don't know what's going on in people's minds. Nobody does. It's all image here. You think that, people think the image of God, they have to look like the image of God around here in some form or fashion, or the image of Satan, I don't know what. But no, it's in the heart. Yeah, I even applied for a 911 job after my criminology studies. I didn't want to work in corrections. I didn't, so I started applying at 911 in Vancouver. I went and did the test. I failed, and but they didn't give me any instructions whatsoever. How the hell? I studied criminology. That was law. That was brief. That wasn't on the job training. How the hell would I know? But apparently it was a stress test. Yeah, no. And another job where you had to do a handwriting exercise. My fine motor skills sucked. I really had terrible writing skills. So if they had a handwriting expert, which I became later, by the way, if they had a handwriting expert and they wanted to see your handwriting before they hire you, which the job club in Vancouver always did, and he owned a lot of job clubs, and I wanted to be an instructor there. No, never got an interview when I sent my written letter. But Hal Klein and Associates, the second largest career planning job clubs in Vancouver, and the largest by the time I left, did hire me without the test, without the degree. All he knew was that I rose myself up out of being an unwed mother, grade 9 dropout, on welfare, went back to school and got some social sciences behind me after the GED, and was continuing with my education. That's all he needed to know. He was a smart guy because I turned out to be one of his best, and I was the one hiring them all at the end. Hiring people with master's degrees that didn't have a clue. They were so full of themselves by the time they came out, the students couldn't relate to them. It was all book smart and not smart. I think good people are being weaned out in the IQ testing early stages because like it's so obvious in my generational family with my father, myself, and my son, all experiencing the same thing and all having a heart of gold, which a lot of people um, can't see. They can't see it through judgment, through what others have said, then that's all they see. I have to go. Anyway, I'll be okay. I'll talk to you soon. Without love, we are nothing. We're dark shadows of ourselves. So raise the vibrations by bringing up love and make sure you start with yourself.